so happy to have an artist here, Paul Toussaint, who's come from Putnam, Connecticut. You're doing something that I've been watching, and it's been growing over the last few years, the Empty Spaces Project.
Yes.
What did you do up there in Main Street in Putnam?
My co-founder, Ann Monteiro, and I, she has a little shop called the Flying Carpet next door, and there was an empty storefront for 15 years. Nobody
Just sat there?
Sat there, nobody wanted it. And I happened to walk down the street, and I asked this guy, I said, hey, you know who owns it? He goes, well, I do. I said, get out, no one can get a hold of you. So he loved the idea of a pop-up gallery, and that's what we did. We painted it white.
Let's show it. We've got a picture of what you're doing.
We painted it white and put a little rug down. It was yellow and black. It was really hideous.
So how big is this space?
Well, this is the back room, and it is very large. I don't know what the square footage, but it's really large. And that's a movable wall, so now we can change the room anytime we want.
And you're putting art in there as
Yes.
an artist, alternative art, but all
Yes.
kinds of things. Tell me about some of the shows that you're doing.
Well, we did
space.
Stop the Violence Against Women, a show that was done from people submitted photos from around the world. And that show was shown on an altar in a church in Italy, on a wall in a cave in Italy, and we brought it to Connecticut. And that was an amazing show. It was one of our largest. And Governor, the Mayor, May Flexer came, Senator Flexer was there, and it was good. And what happened was United Services was involved. And what was nice about it is that the women that are, abused, they didn't show up, of course, but after they would come in a little bit, and say, hey, I did that artwork. That's my picture.
You set this up as a nonprofit.
Yes.
Why?
Well, because my co-founder, Ann Monteiro, thought it would be a great way to go because our building needs a lot of work. Windows, doors, plumbing, and electricity, so we really need help. So the floors, I was scraping those floors, it was nasty. Rug, linoleum, and a lady came in, Valentine, and says, oh, I'll get those donated for you. So that's how it started.
So it's neighbor helping neighbor.
It's community driven.
To get a storefront that's been vacant for 15 years filled with art.
Yeah, and it was just a little pop-up, and anybody can do this because if you get a landlord that is willing to say no or little rent, put some artwork in it, make it pretty, people want to buy it or rent it. And it did happen. What happened was the landlord got a lot of calls, and somebody with a lot more money than I had offered him a lot of money, and I was in tears. I said, please don't take my spot, because a lot of blood, sweat, and tears went into it.
Now, has this allowed Main Street to grow because there was an empty space that's now filled? Has this caught on?
Well, Putnam Business Association is a real strong...
Which is in Windham County.
Yeah, and yes, and they're already were strong anyway, but what happened is with the arts, and we're not in competition with anybody, but we bring people from all over the world. They stay in local hotels and stuff, and they eat at the restaurants, and it's great press and marketing for Putnam.
Now, Paul, you used to work for Apple. You started this little fooling around with this thing called an iPhone. Then what happened?
Well, actually, I was working as a traditional photographer in Manhattan, and I picked up an iPhone, and I started taking pictures. I'm like, wow, I don't have to carry my lenses, my camera bag, change. So I love it, and the quality was amazing. So I started joining like iPhoneArt.com.
Wait, what was it?
iPhoneArt.com.
Okay, who knew, but now we
who
don't.
knew, right? Well, it was a small community back then, but who knew that we were starting, we were pioneers in a new movement. And it took off from there. And I could be, my lighting, my filters, my
Okay, so let's look at this. We've got some little squares here. You're telling me that, and many of these are New York scenes, that you're just taking this with an iPhone, and then you're kind of fooling around.
Yeah, with the apps. There's an app.
With the apps.
Yeah, there's an app for everything.
Do you want to tell us what kind of apps you're using?
Well, my top 10, which that's
Sure,
my
let's hear
workshop. My top 10 is Snapseed, Filter Storm, that's my baby, Camera Plus, Scratch Cam, I said.
And this is an easy thing to do, right? So you take the image and then you start fooling around with filters.
Well, the apps are really advanced. I mean, it's basically Photoshop all cut up. And yeah, so you run it through one application, and you can add weather. You could add you can enhance the photo, you can crop things out. But yeah, you just work with a lot of layers. But yeah, everything is done, and nothing touches the computer except for storage.
Interesting. Now behind you, we've got some shots.
Yes.
What is that another iPhone?
That's all iPhone images, and
Really?
yes, and I do 5 of everything, and that's hand-torn canvas, handmade frames.
How did you get it on the canvas?
I have a company that has a large printer that can withstand that canvas, and that's great quality canvas, because a lot of times you'll send your photos in to have it on canvas, and it's really vinyl.
Are you shooting only on iPhones?
Yeah, I put down my Hasselblad.
Which one do you
Nikon.
have? The 6, the 6 Plus?
No,
What do you have?
I missed my 4S, but I have the 6. I have the 6.
You have the 6. They're getting better and better
Right.
quality.
Right.
Are you ever going to go back to a real camera?
I can't get rid of it, but no, it's in the basement.
Okay, so it's all about iPhone. So they should be paying you for this, you know that.
Well, I give, at Macworld, I'm a guest speaker there, and I give workshops at Apple. I give workshops, in Putnam, and.
What kind of recognition are you getting? Go ahead, toot your own horn.
Well, iPhotographer magazine placed me on the cover as a breakout star, a pioneer in the mobile movement, and the National Institute of Art History in Paris has now recognized this as a new art medium and picked one of my images as one of their 50 in history books.
Now, are you shocked by all this? Because you were just fooling around with an iPhone?
Yeah, absolutely. You kidding? I wasn't doing this with my regular Hasselblad or my Nikon. So, now I'm a mobile master.
A mobile master.
Yeah, Dan Marcelina.
You should buy that domain if it's not taken already. Where do you hope to...
You just told the world, yeah.
I know, right. Well, too bad. Where do you hope to take this?
Well, it's interesting. I just wanted to be an artist in galleries, and now that I have my own gallery, it's never been about me. I've never had a solo show there. I did have a solo show in Southbridge that was extremely successful, but I'm kind of like too nervous. What if it's not as good? Or
Oh, Paul, who cares?
You're
a pioneer now.
Well, now I like to have the gallery we have, the Empty Spaces project. It's more, for me, I love giving artists their first gallery experience. It's about presentation. How do you get that beautiful photo on a gallery wall? You don't buy a $2 frames from your local store. Get it professionally done. And so I like to give artists their, gallery experience, and never, I have a few photos up, but that's.
So let's say somebody's watching this and they want to put their stuff in your space in Putnam. How do they do that?
Well, we are filling up really fast. Already 2016 is almost full. They just email me their work. We have a couple of people that curate it. And we try to see if we can fit it in to a show that we already have.
So do they rent space?
No. Well, what we do, because we're a nonprofit, and we charge $50 to show up to 5 pieces, and we take just 30%. We're not out to gouge anybody.
Is it your hope that this gets, that you have built the template so this happens all over the state of Connecticut and all over the country? Because it is starting to go, but it seems like in this quiet little corner, you've started to build and make some noise.
Yeah, it's funny. That's what they're saying. The quiet corner is Empty Spaces project making a lot of noise in Putnam. Yes, and it's been around for a while. We are just taking it to a new level. We've been invited to different towns, town meetings, to see if we can help them. We've done something in Greenfield, Mass, the Boxcar Gallery. And there's another 3 or 4 stores on Providence Street in Putnam that are not doing well. And what we did is we turned one of them into like a mixed media gallery, and it was doing extremely well, and it worked. Somebody came along and said, I want to rent this space. So we got out. Our job was done.
All in the name of art.
Yeah, art.
Where are you going to be in 5 years with this project, do you think?
I want to be working for the Connecticut Office for the Arts, I hope.
Well, just knock on the door.
Well,
Why not,
could.
right?
Well, you know what? I do the art of asking, and it's been working. I listened to Amanda Palmer's The Art of Asking, and pretty much I just ask people, and it's been working. But now we need volunteers, people on our board. We desperately need funding to keep going. Because we do a lot of stuff that, like I said, community-driven. We do shows that are like Stop the Violence Against Women. We did a CPR class. We bring in Mary Fall
So it's a movable, you never know what you're going to see in there. You just never know.
No, not at all. It really is interesting how that works.
Well, Paul Toussaint, the Empty Spaces Project, thanks for making Connecticut a prettier place.
Well, thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Pursuits when one listen. Who is this girl I spend all night kissing? And if one was right here, then who else is missing? Got a little sidetracked if I'm so wishing to find the keys to the door, but it's also a metaphor. Things keep locked in the grocery store of a mind. Just to save time, I'll skip right ahead to the last ride. The harder we look, the less we can see. Don't you know, you know that you need me.